And that faith extended, I believe it was an interview that we heard your sister-in-law give. That faith extended to being able to be a Muslim and live in America where she was accepted and other Muslims are accepted. And that was a faith that they had, and yet we had the Chapel Hill police come out yesterday saying that this was a parking dispute. Do you believe that this was simply a parking dispute, or was it a hate crime?
I think it's absolutely insulting, insensitive, and outrageous that the first thing they come out and say and issue a statement that this is a parking dispute, when I'm not sure who they spoke to, because it took me all of 5 minutes of talking to his former roommate, who they had not reached out to give me details, information, text messages. And to give you context, each unit is assigned one parking spot, and there are multiple visitors' parking spots on the premises. From the first time they arrived, having seen my mom, who also wears the headscarf, they had been harassed and were approached and told, basically, Dia's unit has one parking spot, the neighbor has an adjacent one, and then there's a visitor's parking spot adjacent to that. And the neighbor told him, do not park in that visitor's parking slot because that belongs to my wife. They respected it. But what happens when you have friends visiting? They park in a visitor's parking spot. They continued receiving this kind of harassment with the gun being flashed under his shirt. It reached a point where Yusuf had texted Zia, who took a snapshot of that, sent it to Ahmed, and asking, please tell your roommate to move because this neighbor is bothering me. This prompted the roommate to call the apartment complex management, who told them a visitor spot is a visitor spot, no one can claim it. Regardless of this, they have avoided parking in that spot. His friends and family know not to park in that spot. Zia went to the extent of printing out all of the spots and highlighting which ones were visitor parking spots that can be parked in, avoiding the one that the neighbor had issues with him parking in. That was not enough.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Barakat, just two final questions. First of all, was there any contact with the police about the behavior of this man and the threats? And what has been the response of the Chapel Hill community?
I have been here since the morning after the shooting, and police have still not reached out to my family. And I would like to just highlight one thing with regarding to the parking spots. Someone drove by the complex yesterday. Out of curiosity, I was wondering, maybe Razan parked in that visitor's parking spot. They were all parked in their designated areas. Razan's car was not in that visitor's parking spot. So to call it a parking dispute, when in fact no one was parked in even that visitor's parking spot that does not belong to him, is outrageous to me, and it's insulting, and it trivializes their murders.